Greetings, all you ponies out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, coming at you with another My Little Pony Friendship is Magic episode review. This time it's season 9, episode 6, titled Common Ground, where we actually get to see the continuation of the Buckball thing. We actually get to see that it's grown into this, honestly, worldwide almost phenomenon. At least between Ponyville and what should we call it? I think it was Appaloosa or something like that. All these yeah, Appaloosa. And just become so popular to the fact point where they actually started up a Buckball Hall of Fame with this major Buckball field in Appaloosa as well. So they're going gaga for Buckball. It's the hottest thing sweeping across the nation. And being inducted into the Hall of Fame currently will be Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Snails, which I never saw coming actually, but it's actually pretty interesting. And we get to see that they are actually in attendance for a big game going on there, with lots of fans just surrounding them. And, Pinkie Pie's kind of taken off guard that things have just, grown the way they have, especially considering that they'll be, celebrating in Appaloosa, despite the fact that they keep beating the Appaloosa team. You think the Appaloosans would want to honor their own, but ultimately the love of the game is what inspires them more than anything else. Snips, in the most brilliant moment I've ever seen for his character ever, actually uses this opportunity to have, Snails sign various autographs so they can get like lots of money. Basically, just lots of money. And that's their, the thing for the whole episode. They're just in the background making money. And, they're just ready, happy to come in and throw down. The rest of them are just happy to be there. Rainbow Dash is there especially because she was, she's one of the people who helped start up the whole situation. However, they start to wonder if Snails is actually going to be able to get back into the rhythm with all the autographs he's signing. Meanwhile, Rainbow Dash is more concerned with the fact that because Applejack wasn't able to come in attendance, and she also helped start things up, she asked Rainbow Dash to go to the various exhibits and displays and stuff and actually tell her about it. Let her know what the whole the Hall of Fame and all that actually looked like. So Rainbow Dash, just being a good friend, wants to just dash on through it in order to see everything related to Applejack and get back to the actual Buckball game. However, she finds she is not the first person in line, and of all people, Quibblepants, from when they first met, when he first was introduced to Daring Do, has actually shown up there as well, much to the surprise of everyone. I mean, not everyone, Rainbow Dash. And we come to find out that Quibblepants actually has been dating this one pony, Clear Sky, very cute pony. And she has a daughter, Windsprint, which is actually one of the first times I think we've ever had the illusion that there was maybe a divorce or a death in the family or something along those lines, because it's just like, huh. I never would have thought My Little Pony would have gone in that direction to just be like, yeah, some people just fade apart or some people die off or stuff like that, and parents want to get back into the game. And this ends up being the actual core of our plot here, which took me off guard because I thought we were going all into Buckball, but this kind of plot was a little bit more interesting for the most part. But we come to find out that Windsprint isn't interested so much in the Hall of Fame as she is in the actual game. But Windsprint isn't too happy with Quibble Pants, feeling that he's trying to replace her father and all that. Meanwhile, Clear Sky wants to just, have a good time with her new boyfriend for the most part. It's not like she's disregarding her daughter's feelings. She just wants to find her own little bit of happiness. And she would like her daughter to just at least give it a try. And for the most part, Windsprint does at least put some effort into just hanging around with them. And Rainbow Dash does her own best to kind of, get Windsprint's spirits a little bit further up. Even going on about how she was one of the people who helped, get the buckball thing in motion. And, once they kind of split off, Rainbow Dash is, just like, hey, you actually managed to get yourself a nice little girlfriend there. Although Quibble Pants is kind of down on himself because Windsprint, her father was a, sports pony, very much into all that good stuff. But Quibble Pants, not so much. And he doesn't want to, be someone who Clear Sky's daughter doesn't approve of. He's glad that Clear Sky obviously likes him, but he would like Windsprint to also like him, which is a very noble goal. He doesn't want to negatively impact the relationship between mother and daughter. Although ultimately, Clear Sky will tell him time and time again, you don't have to do this, but he obviously feels he does. Even to the point where Quibble Pants, Rainbow Dash says that she'll help him out for the most part, trying to pump him up for the most part. And so as, Rainbow Dash talks to Windsprint about the various Buckball, the creation of Buckball and all that good stuff, Quibble Pants kind of drops the ball by just buying Windsprint a almanac with all the rules, regulations, various different plays and stuff like that, which Windsprint is very much not into. Reading isn't her foray. And, but Clear Sky continues to tell him, look, you don't have to try so hard. She'll come around in time if you just give her some time. But Rainbow Dash tries to push the issue, saying that she will make Quibble Pants a sports pony. So they get into some training for the most part, but it becomes very apparent very quickly that Quibble Pants is not up for physical activity. He just does not have it in him. And he comes to the realization of this. This just isn't his thing. But Rainbow Dash has yet another idea. So it's starting to feel like Rainbow Dash's want to help is starting to supersede what Quibble Pants can actually do. And so the Buckball game gets underway, and when Quibble Pants comes to Clear Sky and Windsprint, he says that he has actually arranged for them to meet up with the Ponyville team, much to the delight of Windsprint. So, there's good ideas here. It's just like, Rainbow Dash, have Rainbow Dash introduce Windsprint to the team, and if he had left it at that, that probably would have been, better than anything else. However, when they meet up with Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy are more interested in the whole story behind Quibble Pants and how they met Daring Do and all that good stuff, which is a fun little moment for the most part. But, when Clear Sky tries to elate knowing sports ponies to being a sports pony, Windsprint kind of takes great offense to this. Really just does not want to associate Quibble Pants with any of this for the most part. Gets really big backlash on that. But Rainbow Dash has actually arranged for a kind of small game between the fans versus the real team. So, Windsprint and Quibble Pants will actually be playing in the actual game for the most part, much to Quibble Pants' shock. Quibble Pants is, very much not okay with this because he feels like he'll ultimately make a fool of himself. But Rainbow Dash says that Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy were instructed to go easy on them for the most part. So they kind of get things underway, but despite Pinkie Pie trying to help out, they end up actually scoring in their own goal. They score for the other team for the most part, time after time. And while Windsprint actually shows some talent at Buckball, you know, Quibblepants continues to just not be as capable or continue to just score for the other team. And when he tries to call in for the rules saying that, it's not really defined which basket you have to have it sent into, Windsprint is less than happy with him in general and feels that he is ruining everything for her and runs off. Meanwhile, Clear Sky is, very disappointed with Quibble Pants for the most part, and even goes as far as to say they need to rethink the whole situation, which leaves Quibble Pants kind of devastated. And when Rainbow Dash comes to him to say that she has a lot more plans ready to go in motion, Quibble Pants isn't certain. She feels that ultimately it's a lost cause, and that with Clear Sky's statement of rethinking things, it means that she wants to break up. But Rainbow Dash just tells Quibble Pants outright, if you don't know anything about Buckball, why not bond over Buckball with someone who knows a lot about it, cluing him in onto what he needs to do. And we also get this nice little moment between Clear Sky and Windsprint, where, Windsprint lays it all on the line, saying that, hey, I don't feel that he should be my new dad. She doesn't quite care for him trying so hard. And Clear Sky tells her, it's just like, look, he's not supposed to be a replacement. He's not supposed to replace the love you have in your heart. It's just supposed to be that Clear Sky likes him, and she's just hoping that Windsprint would at least try to like him, just because he's not a bad person. He's shown that he has a good amount of friends, and he has enough charisma in him to get people to want to help him. So obviously there's something good within him. She just wishes that Windsprint would give Quibble Pants a chance. So it's a very complex issue, and one that, it's faced very much in today's society. A lot, honestly. Parents who are widowers or split, are everywhere. And the kids who are left behind in those situations sometimes don't know how to gel with having a new person come into the picture. You saw that in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man, and then in Ant-Man and the Wasp, it actually turned into a better situation because the mother went on to remarry, and the stepfather, the other man, he was actually able to become friends with the daughter's true father. They became a good, happy family unit, which took a lot of people off guard because that's not usually, there's always that friction, but you can't have that friction all the time. You gotta have, you gotta meet compromises, especially if both parties aren't bad people. Once you get to that point, it's just like there's no reason to feel this overwhelming animosity because they're still all good people. Just give them a chance to show you what they're made of, and maybe you might be very surprised. As Quibble Pants comes back to Windsprint and lays it all on the line. He doesn't sugarcoat it for her, saying that I don't know anything about Buckball. I just wanted to impress you and get you to like me, but that backfired. So I'm telling you, I don't know anything, but I would like to learn. Will you teach me? And so, Windsprint very much takes him up on it because, when you're a fan of something, you want to just like on YouTube, it's just like when you're a fan of something, you're willing to tell anyone who listens what you know, what you've experienced, your point of view on certain things. Feel that, importance because you're knowledgeable about this thing that you love. And, that's a nice little moment there. And we even have a moment where Quibble Pants actually calls out a certain play that Pinkie Pie is about to do right before she does it, much to the shock of Windsprint. But Quibble Pants is just like, well, it was in the almanac, I read through the whole thing, and I know when you can tell when certain ponies will play certain moves or something like that. And this actually delights Winspring because it's something she had not really taken into account, getting her into reading for the most part as well. So, it's that good kind of compromise where you might end up growing because you've actually opened yourself up to something new. It's a good lesson as a whole. And that's the best things when in these episodes, when you have an episode that teaches a good lesson. As a show for kids, we should always have those nice lessons that actually might help kids grow, adapt, and evolve into better people. And we even have a moment where Quibblepants talks to Clear Sky saying, look, I know you might want to call it quits because of everything that went down, and if you do, I'll understand. Showing just how, understanding he can really be. But Clear Sky, clarifies what she meant for the most part. Just saying that, look, I get what you were doing, but I was just saying you should rethink involving Rainbow Dash in this, as it's just not working out for the most part. That's the thing that wasn't working. That's the thing she wanted him to rethink. So it's a nice little kind of subversion of that whole situation. But I'm glad she didn't actually hate him or look down on him or anything like that. She understood that he was trying, and she wasn't about to fault him for putting forth the effort. So all together, just a very good moment. And when Sprint shows that she has actually started reading through the almanac and gotten information as well, they have this nice little moment where it's just like, yeah, it seems like you managed to learn something after all, and we're able to bond with Quibblepants for the most part as well. And that's where we end our episode. A very feel-good moment. I was ready to cringe throughout this whole episode, and it had a few cringy moments, but it actually did turn out for the best. I don't know why I didn't think it would with a series like this, but honestly, it was just a nice few moments that really took me off guard. I wasn't expecting them to address this, and I'm kind of glad that they did, because this is a situation that very much impacts plenty of kids, and some kids need some help knowing that it's not an uncommon thing, and it's something they need help dealing with from time to time. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. How did you feel about this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Did you feel like it was needless? Did you not like seeing Quibblepants again? Would you have liked to see more Buckball? Did you wish this went in the direction where I thought it was, where we were all about the Buckball? Or were you happy that we ended up not going in that direction like I was? Because I was just like, I don't know if I'm down with the whole episode about Buckball. But as soon as we just segued into this whole other storyline, I'm just like, oh, thank God. I wasn't sure if I'd be interested in more Buckball for the most part. And hey, if you liked this video, feel free to drop me a like. If you didn't, feel free to give me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below, so I might better myself for future videos. And hey, how about subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you never miss a My Little Pony final season episode review. And hey, how about finding me on social media? Just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I am everywhere, for better or for worse. And until the next video, just remember to always keep an open mind. You might discover something that changes your whole point of view. Until next time, bye-bye.